All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Chicago Cubs video for you. Now, you know I live out here in Chicago, and I'm a big-time Cubs fan. If you guys want more Cubs content, if you want Astros content, if you want more MLB content, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like on this video, dropping a subscribe button if you have not already. Now, let's just get right into it. I'm currently watching the Cubs play the Phillies right now, and it is not looking good. It's about to be the top of the 8th inning, and they are down 4-2. If the Cubs lose this game, that will be the 10th straight loss to get them at 42-43. Now, it feels as if almost since the championship season, the Chicago Cubs have had the same reoccurring issues every single year. Bad pitching, can't score with runners on base. I mean, this is my first Cubs video. I have so many opinions on this team, man. I don't know what is going on right now. 10 straight losses. It's horrible. And especially considering they got swept by the Brewers, almost got swept by the Dodgers, swept by the Reds. I mean, these teams are passing the Cubs around like a blunt right now. It's extremely embarrassing, and I want to give some opinions on what I think they should do here at the trade deadline, because it's clear they need starting pitching. Like, it is so bad. It's almost as if Jake Arrieta should not even be starting anymore, and that they should just move him to the bullpen. And that seems like it'll solve some issues there. But, like, they need to make a move. They need to make moves at the deadline here. And we'll see what Jed Hoyer decides here, if they're going to buy, if they're going to sell. My gut tells me that they're going to sell. But my hope and my dream is obviously that they buy. My biggest fear right now is they don't re-sign any of the Kris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, or Javier Baez trio, and that they all just let them walk and they lose everything. I mean, you can go back. It's tough because I understand the Yu Darvish trade. You don't want to be owed. You don't want to owe a player $60+ million for, being 30 something, on the wrong side of 30. And it makes sense. The Yu Darvish trade made sense. I think everyone can argue that they should have gotten more value back, but can't cry over spilled milk. They're just going to have to deal with it. And then you look at Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Kyle Schwarber had a horrible season last year. Like, he had a just truly horrible season. But I still think that the Cubs should have taken a chance on him for at least one more season, because his value was at an all-time low, and it's a COVID cut short season, right? 60 games. I mean, it's hard to get into a rhythm in 60 games. We're 84 games in, 85 after tonight. And you're still seeing players struggle to get into rhythm at certain times. And when you cut it to 60 games, I mean, it's pressure. Everyone's kind of scared of what's going on in the real world because you don't really know too many details. And so I think they should have re-signed Schwarber. Castellanos, I mean, that should have re-signed him as well, but just thinking about all the money and all the people that they've paid and the people they're going to have to pay, it makes sense. But when you cheap out on other players, you need to cash in on your franchise players. Javier Baez, Kris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo, that's the group right there. You don't really need more. Most teams would kill to have those three be their top players. And so I want KB to get re-signed. I want Rizzo to get signed. I want Javi to get signed. However, I understand baseball is a business. KB, Rizzo, I don't think that they're going to get traded. I wouldn't even necessarily be opposed to a Javier Baez trade, but I don't know what kind of value they're going to be able to get back from him. If they're going to be able to get back players who can help win now, help win in the future. I mean, a Javier Baez trade, I am not for it, but just from like a statistical, analytical side, I mean, it does make sense, because I'm not quite sure Javier Baez wants to be on this team next season. Depending on how this season ends, I don't know who of these Cubs roster is going to want to play next season. So they'll be about 8.5, 9 games out of first place after tonight, or somewhere around 8 games back if they somehow win this game. You're behind the Reds, you're behind the Brewers. Now, I'm not quite worried about the Brewers. They're at 51-35 right now. I'm not too worried. I know they're a good baseball team, but I think that they'll be catchable. Right now, they have like the highest margin of division leaders. Like, they have the highest cushion of any division leader in baseball, and that was because of their huge win streak. So it sucks that the Brewers go on this 13 plus game win streak and the Cubs go on this 10 plus game losing streak at the same time. However, we're halfway through the season and there's plenty of time. There's just absolutely plenty of time. So it's not the end of the world for the Cubs because they were on a great run before this losing streak, and they are banged up, and you've got the catchers banged up, you've got pitchers banged up, so it's not the end of the world. But I think that for me, my biggest concern is that Jed Hoyer stays still this trade deadline and just kind of continues to go with the flow for whatever reason. I mean, it's hard because they are literally just business people who are trying to make the best return on investment. And it's it's tough to just see. It would be tough to see Javi, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo all just like not even get traded, just leave for nothing, have a disappointing end of the season. And it's like, what's going on in Chicago? Or are we about to rebuild only a couple of years after removed winning the World Series title? So I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna hope for it because I like David Ross. I love the Cubs, man, and I want them to do great. We just need better. Just need more. We just need more, man. They need to play better. Everyone needs to play better. They need to get more depth. It's a very, very shallow team, in my opinion. They just need more. They need more depth, man, and we'll see what decisions they decide to make come trade deadline, or we'll see what decisions they don't decide to make at the trade deadline, and it'll tell us a lot about the future of the Chicago Cubs. But for now, guys, that's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys enjoyed. If you want more Cubs content, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys.